And I'm back with another attempt at chaos. And learned a couple things while I was watching the whatever. And I was leveling up and I kind of went overboard, but even then, this might still not be enough. But really, what I was trying to gain was HP for Vivi and DeRosa, honestly. Because, fuck. Vivi was at 400 HP, DeRosa was at like 800, now they're at like 962 and 550 respectively, give or take. So, they should have more survivability, but more importantly, what I'm looking for is the Giant's Gloves. Now, apparently, this and Temper are going to be the main things that I'm looking for. Considering that Squall was the only one, or Cloud was the only one really doing damage in this fight, a lot is based on RNG, the damage I'm taking. I don't have the heals, so... I'm doing this again. Hopefully I can win this time, because... And who knows, I might win in 5 minutes. I don't know. So I gained some stats, but more importantly, I gained the HP. But this is the thing. So. It's like already just nailing me. God, you bitch! So I think what I can do is take turns doing Giant's Gloves and attacking with those two. And then... and just heal with the other two. We'll see what happens. That did not do what I was hoping it would do. That didn't really do what I was hoping, game. But Temper can stack. So if I get an opening, I can use Temper. So. Yeah, not quite what I was looking for, but... Ow! You suck. Fine, you missed. A little better. Okay, this is getting a little better now. So let's throw a haste. Okay. Ow, you suck. Alright. Tempered. Oh, they got saber. Okay. We don't need that. I just have more survivability now. That's a good start. You son of a bitch. Okay, well at least Squall is doing 1,000 damage. Oh, there we go. That's much better. Okay, so I can keep healing. I can keep up some healing to an extent. Oh, dude, they're ripped up. Oh, man. Ugh. Well, that's disappointing. Not flare, no! No! Well, that's quite annoying. Yeah, this is the problem with heal being the only thing I've really got. But I'm doing more damage and I'm surviving quicker. Ugh. You suck. Ow. Come on, RNG, help me out a little bit. No. Okay. But I'll take the free turn, I guess. Doing 900 damage and another 12. Okay. Come on. He's got like 20,000 HP or something like that. I've done quite a bit, but that's good. We're doing it. Ow! Fuck! Oh, you son of a bitch! You stupid son of a bitch! I hate you. Okay, well he used his turn. Can I go faster? Okay, good. All right. So I get. Okay, I get one of the attackers back, but now I have none of the buffs. That's annoying. Try to heal again. Okay, I'll take it. I'll take it. Got him! Oh! Just needed the survivability. Jesus, that guy hits hard. Okay. I probably over-leveled, but look, I needed it. Ugh. That guy was not that painful in other versions. Oof. Either that or I had other things that could help me, but I did it. Oh. Oh. And more of the goofiness. But I did it. The time loop was severed at last. The endless struggle that raged over 2,000 years has ended, and peace prevailed once more. The light of the four crystals restored the forces of wind, water, earth, and fire. It was a mere trick of fate that had given rise to the chain of Garland's wrath. but magnified by the four forces meant to guide our world. And that trick of fate also gave birth to the fiends. Monsters had run rampant as the world sank into darkness. But all that is now past. With the four forces flowing as they were meant, the warriors prepared to cross time and return to the world they knew. A world where Princess Sarah, Queen Jane, and even Garland himself await. When was this fateful day that sent time spiraling into a loop? None can say. It seemed the cycle into which time had fallen would last forever. But the bravery of the four young travelers changed that. They took the forces that filled the world with darkness and used them to bathe the world in light. None will ever recall the struggle the four endured, and it was a struggle. For the breaking of this chain means it never existed. But within the tales of fantasy that people tell, the memory of their deeds lives on. Tales of dwarves and elves, of dragons and shining civilizations that reached for the heavens even as they fell. Now their return is upon us. With the memory of their struggle buried deep in their hearts, they will quietly watch over our world. Remember always that the forces of the world must be used as they were intended, that the power of light must never be used for dark, and that the true crystals reside in your heart. For you are the warrior that crossed time. You are the bearer of light, the bringer of light. And I can no longer use this voice until I'm Yuri Cosmos. Will I get to that by the time this happens? I forget. Anyway, so much for my narrator voice. I'm curious to see how this sounds, since I'm never sure. But there I go again, being dumb. But I've earned it. After those two first chaos fights and the third one almost kicking my ass, I'll take it. But yay, Final Fantasy is done! Ooh, boy. Wait. Did they get the fancy intro exit with the end in there? No. Oh. You couldn't have put it in there for funsies? You couldn't have put the fancy end prompt in there for fun? Oh. Oh well. I guess that's what we can get. So yeah. Imagine my surprise when I over-leveled to hell just to find out Chaos was a brick fucking wall. Did I need to level to 65 or 70? No. I just needed to use Giant's Gloves, but even then it was more just that I did more damage early than had been doing. I will say this, I was kind of shocked. That is a hell of a jump in class. But I am grateful that I did have the option to overlevel. It only took me about an extra 10 minutes to do. So, got it done, and I'm happy. Got these done so that now I don't have to worry about these videos for a while. Because after this is going to be a Super Mario RPG Rando. A Rando I couldn't finish, by the way. And I have no shame of admitting that I did not finish it, because when you exhaust every option and still fail, well, what can you do? But hey, that gives me plenty of time, because this was about 16-ish episodes, 17, I forget. 16, 17 episodes. I'll get to Dragon Quest. Mainly, I want to get to the character creation, but this is my day after this. Once I get all my stuff squared away, I'm going to either take a nap and then sleep it off, and then go shopping or do whatever. I've had a good run of things to just go nuts. I've got a lot of videos in the can. I could focus on Apollo Justice Trilogy for quite a while before I need to dig into Dragon Quest again, so that's nice. But I'm staying ahead of everything so that I can give myself a mental break. And given the fact that Chaos kept punching me in the face really hard, I think I'm okay with a mental break. But that was Final Fantasy. Now you know that overleveling can help you sometimes. Again, I do not recall him being that fucking difficult. Did they buff him? I don't know. Was he always this bad? I don't know. Maybe it was because I couldn't heal very well. I don't know. But I managed it. I beat him. I'm happy. That's all that I mattered about. Showing off the game the way I wanted to do it. And putting this to bed. Because realistically, there's only 2 more Final Fantasy games left to go. Final Fantasy 2, Final Fantasy 3, which is better now that they have save points and quick saves in the final fucking dungeon. But it's still its own kettle of fish. The more modern ones, 15, 16, and the remake. Not necessarily 12 or 13, but maybe someday, but, you know. World of Final Fantasy is an option, other Final Fantasy games are an option, but I've got the randos, right? I've gotten my fill of Final Fantasy for quite a while. I tend to do like 1 or 2 games a year, and that's plenty. But it's nice that got this one done, got it put away, because if not for the 4 through 10, this is probably the better one to do of the first 3. Does it have anything other than the fighting to go for it? Not really. I'm not a big fan of the time loop mechanic. It's really goofy, especially for an early game that didn't need to try that hard, and a lot of it was way late, lore-wise. But I mean, at least they gave it an effort. I will at least give them that. But it's really about the fighting. And even though my playthrough may or may not do justice to what the original did, you know, I like that the Pixel Remaster suited my tastes better. And that allowed me, hey, I got my ass kicked by Chaos. I can overlevel to get more HP, to survive a little bit more. Or, if I wanted a challenge, pick a different party setup, do a different thing, do all white mages, do all black mages, use thieves, use whatever. Change it up. So if you're into, say, the Final Fantasy V approach, and Final Fantasy, well, not Final Fantasy 3 so much, but more class-based things. Final Fantasy 3 suffers from, you need to use certain classes to succeed. Final Fantasy 1 and Final Fantasy 5 you don't. And that's where that benefit comes in. So if you're into pure battle system, you want something simple, you go with this. You want something a little bit more customizable, you go with 5. Every other game, it's mostly about the story. And, you know, Final Fantasy 1's a pretty solid Final Fantasy game. It's not my favorite. I don't hate it. I just know I'm glad it existed because then the other ones wouldn't have. They had to start somewhere. And it's a solid dungeon crawl, if nothing else. You get a bunch of fighting for 10 hours, you get your fill of it, and you move on. If that's what you're in the mood for, Final Fantasy 1's got you covered. But it set the tone. You know, Final Fantasy 2 tried something different and failed miserably, but at least they tried. And then they went back to the drawing board with 3, and 3 honestly did more in line with what Final Fantasy would be later. But again, if the first one didn't succeed, this company wouldn't be here. And even if all my quibbles exist now about what they've become and what they're gonna be, I don't think most JRPG fans, if any, would still be here if Square Enix weren't here. Because they own the 2 biggest franchises, other than, well, Pokemon, I guess. If you consider that a JRPG, which I technically do. But, yeah, Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest. They don't exist. Almost none of the games, I mean, even SMT, which was like a year or so later, like, fuck it. A lot of the stuff that we take for granted started with Dragon Quest 1 and Final Fantasy 1. It just did. So it's to be commended that a company that was pretty much dead in the water took a chance on a franchise and turned it into a phenomenon. Is it as grand as it was before? No, but they've rebounded quite a bit, and the Final Fantasy we know today would not exist if these things didn't occur. So, you know, it's good to go back and see things, how things were, and how we've changed, and what we've changed, and how people, like, the things we took for granted way back when, or had to deal with, and can change, you know, the mentality of maybe we don't have the tolerance for the final battles, or the random encounters, or the whatevers that we used to, but now we can change it and say, hey, here's a different experience. New versions of the music, new versions of the battles, new versions of the fights that we grew up on. It's like seeing those movies redone, you know. Will it ever replace the original? No, but sometimes they're better. Sometimes they're not. But at least we gave it a chance. And as long as things like this exist and are done with the right intentions of trying to stick to what they were, you know, the same thing applies with Dragon Quest 3. There's something everybody can try to enjoy. This might be your first ever experience with this sort of game. This might be the 100th. But if you enjoy it, even a smidge, as much as you did when you first played it, the remake has done you proud. And I think that the Pixel Remaster is the best way to experience Final Fantasy because you can do it to suit your needs. And I'm glad that I've been going through these Pixel Remasters. I've still got 2 more of the games to go, but I'll get to them some other day, some far-flung future. But for now, I'm glad I beat this game the right way. I will see you next time.